Hey guys, Dr. Brian Opp here from Opp Family Chiropractic right here in St. Francis. And this month we're going to be talking all about men's health, right? And some of the most common things like low back pain, shoulder pain, all the kind of aches and pains that we get as guys, right? We're also going to talk about a few other things like diabetes, metabolic syndrome, things like that that often afflict guys as well too. You get that big belly in the front, we start having issues. I'm going to talk today about stomach acid issues, right? So reflux. A lot of guys that end up like with snoring, reflux in the morning, where they get that kind of burning sensation. They don't digest their food very well. Their wives or girlfriends are hitting them to roll over and things like that. So often when we talk about stomach acid, we're led to believe that it's a too much stomach acid issue when in fact it is more on the opposite side where you have less stomach acid than your body needs. So what happens then is the valve that covers your stomach doesn't close very well. And so then you get that burping up, especially at night, right? They'll do everything like tilt the bed. We'll do other things with, um, you know, masks for sleep apnea, things like that, all sorts of things. PPIs, which are, acid reducing medications. It's one of the most common selling drugs out there. So, but that's defeating the purpose of what actually the problem is. One of the other things that happens, especially if you are that guy that gets the reflux at night or you snore a lot, is there's a link between your tongue and your diaphragm, the muscle that breathes. So when you get that tension when you're laying down on your back, that's when you start to have that issue where the diaphragm will pull up into the stomach and you get the reflux, and then you have to snore because the tongue is falling to the back of the throat. So a simple fix, which a lot of times, you'll tilt the bed or you sleep on a ramp to get that neck so that it's the distance between your tongue and your diaphragm is shorter. But once again, you still need to do some things to rectify the issue there with the hiatal hernia, the diaphragm issue, and the tongue. So definitely is something that we handle here a lot and diagnose and make referrals if we need to. But when it comes to that low stomach acid issue, that's when we send home the stomach acid challenge from our clinic. And that tests how much stomach acid you're making after a meal. So you start out with a tablet after a meal and you work your way up to 4 to 5 tablets after a meal if you don't feel any warming sensation. And that just tells us that you're really not making any stomach acid. On the extremes, if you've had low stomach acid for a while and there's been a lot of inflammation in your stomach and your upper GI tract, then we have the issue with gastritis. Typically, it's about 10 to 20% of the population that we deal that with. And so we just got to help calm down that inflammation before we start healing up the digestive system. Just know that you can't build a healthful body if you don't digest your food, right? So whatever happens in the north is going to show up in the south and out in the body, right? So if you can't digest your food, you can't digest proteins, fats, carbs, so you can't get any of the nutrients that you need to build muscle, have energy, and all those types of things. So we really like to help people. If you're on an acid reducing medication, get off of those because they're horrible for your body. And then just to help get you to digest your food better so that you are less inflamed, have more energy, and can build things like testosterone and muscle and things like that. So if you guys are dealing with this, or hey, wives, girlfriends, if you know that your significant other is dealing with this, definitely send them our way. We can definitely help with that. So especially, one of the other signs and symptoms of low stomach acid, besides the obvious signs and symptoms, is a lot of neck pain, especially on the left side. So they just kind of get that nagging area, left side shoulder pain as well. That's often a big part of that. So if you guys are experiencing any of this, definitely reach out to us so we can be a big help to any one of those people. So Dr. Brian Opp here from Opp Family Chiropractic. Thanks, guys.